Attendees are in listen-only mode.
Good evening and welcome to the webinar this evening for Platinum members. Tonight we have with us all the way from France, David Poole, who's going to be talking about tonight's slides, and that's the wrong slide that's just gone up. I don't know why that has happened. That shouldn't have gone to that should have gone to a different slide. But anyway, there should have been a slide there that says that David's going to be talking about dash cams and how to boost customers and get customers to you. So I'm going to stop sharing my screen and change presenters over to you, David. If we do that.
As long as I just want to share my screen, is that good?
Yeah, it's coming over to you now. So if you click on your screen, you should have something there that says for you to click and share.
Okay, so let's test this. Hopefully you can see my web page. Is that right?
Yes, we can see that.
Yep. Right, and can you see me still?
Yes, we can still see you. And it's got David Poole Associates.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you very much, Lynn and Ed, for inviting me. If you've not been on a webinar before, this is interactive. On the right-hand side, I think Ed, you should be able to help me with this.
Yeah.
Am I saying that there's a chat box on the right-hand side?
There is. There's a chat box on the right-hand side for opening up. I'm going to open that tab up here. So I'll get any questions across to me, David. So right. If anybody's got any questions, type in the question box. I can ask David that question then. So make sure that you come forward with your questions and then we can answer any that's there. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And, there might be some questions that I can't answer. Simply because I don't have the correct information right now. So if I don't have, if I can't give you the fullest answer, I'll share that with you right now. I suppose one of the things that I really ought to do is a little bit of housekeeping, because everybody goes to these workshops and I'm sure that you've all been to the Cockthorne to see the NJC every October, which is a great event. And it's poor old Lynn always gets the short straw and has to open up. And one of the great things that Lynn is very good at is doing the housekeeping right at the very beginning. And I like to do housekeeping as well. So first of all, if the fire alarm rings, it's not at my end, it's at yours. And the second thing is, if you want to know where the toilet is, I hope you do know where it is, because I can't give you directions in your house. So that's the housekeeping. It's all done. Now, the way I deliver a webinar is I'm not really a serious person. I'm just very serious with the information that I share with you, but I'm very open, and I hope my personality comes through so that you do want to feel involved and that you do want to ask a question. That's what it's all about. And they do say that there is no such thing as a bad question. I'll let you into a secret. Sometimes there is. But don't worry, Ed's going to filter those out for us. Okay. Right, so today, Ed's chuckling away. I can hear him. I can't see him, but I can hear him. What we're going to do today is we're going to talk about marketing in a different way that 99% of other driving instructors don't do. Oh, now, when I say driving instructor, I'm actually talking about your ADI badge. Now, I don't exclusively work with people who only work with learners. I do things like Fleet and all that sort of palaver, but as point of reference, I always talk about the learner market because it's absolutely what all ADIs have got in common. So I'll always go back to that. And if you look on driving school websites, if you look on Facebook, which is a biggie, there are very, very, very few people using video. And the ones that do use video are driving instructors to say, oh my God, did you see this that happened today? Or look at this idiotic BMW stroke Audi stroke Mercedes driver that overtook me and went through red lights, which is all well and good. But you're missing out. I feel driving instructors are missing out on a valuable opportunity to increase your prices by positioning yourself as being the expert and also getting more people taking a look at you and finding out who you are, what are you about. And really today that's the crux of it. And everything I'm going to show you today doesn't cost you anything, because even if you don't have one of these nice posh dash cams, CCTV cameras, everybody's got a mobile phone. So, you know, you could even record with a mobile phone. And we're going to discuss a few things that we can talk about, we're going to discuss a few things that we can record and we can get out there to a wider audience to bring people back to your driving school, and to a point where they're picking the phone up and all they're trying to do is find out availability because they just want to buy from you because they're already satisfied with what they've seen. They've already gone, you know what, I like this guy, I like this lady, I've seen enough, I like what they're producing, it makes sense, I want my son and daughter to be with them, or I want to learn to drive with them. That's where we're trying to get to, because when you are at that point, when people have already bought into you, what you've got is just a question of booking them in on the phone, and ideally, you know, in terms of marketing, and that's what marketing is about, getting your name out there and getting them primed. That's where you want them to be when it crosses over into the sales side. So I've got a few notes down here that I've made. Overall, what we want to try and do today is use video to be different, but okay, I don't mind, and Lynn and Ed don't mind getting out there and standing up in front of people or being on webinars like this and now showing our faces, but the three of us, we appreciate it's not right for everyone. So today, you know, you're going to learn things where you don't have to show yourself. In fact, you don't even have to talk on some of the things that I'm going to share with you. But before I get into everything, I want to have a quick chat with you about what people want. We're going to look at products, we're going to look at video, and then we're going to look at things like YouTube and Facebook. And I've got a few pages listed up at the top here. We've got, I don't know if you can see it at the top. I've got my YouTube and a few Facebook pages that are open to share with you, so you can actually see what I'm talking about, and you can go in there and do it. And I know right now we're in 2017, and you know, 17 years ago, millennium, and it seems like we've got a lot of learner drivers knocking around right now, and we're quite flush. But marketing is really important for everybody to increase prices, to make sure that you get the right candidates that are coming into you, and you know, that's some of the stuff that I want to share with you. And if you just excuse me for a second, because I've probably spoken for like 7 minutes without breathing, and I need a drink. Lynn's probably going to kill me for drinking wine in front of you all, but I'm not driving, and I'm not driving later on. So Lynn, you can tell me off, but I know that you're drinking gin and tonic tonight. Ed told me. So okay, before we get into videos, I just want to peel back the layers a little bit, and I'm going to talk to you a little bit about something. And Ed and Lynn, you might want, if you want to interject at this point, please feel free. Learning styles is really what I want to cover at the moment. I'm going to speak about me rather than you, and I'm not going to speak about your clients, I'm going to speak about myself. When I'm learning, and today I've gone through a learning curve, hopefully we do this every day, I like it when somebody holds my hand. I like it when I can hear somebody and listen to what they say. You might describe this as being audio. I actually think, from my point of view, I do like seeing the person. I remember when I was a kid, and I was about 10 years old, or maybe a little bit younger, and Mum would get the catalogue out and say, okay then David, what Christmas presents would you like to have for Christmas this year? What would you like Santa to get you? And this is absolutely true. And I used to make a little list, and then for the next 2 or 3 months I used to go back to the catalogue and keep on looking at it and visualising it. I didn't realise I was visualising it, but I imagined myself playing with these toys and wanting these toys. And, you know, people are the same. It doesn't have to be with your Christmas list, making your Christmas list out when you're 8 years old. You could be in the supermarket buying a product, and what you're doing is you're looking at it and you're reading it and you're trying to get into it. And, you know, it works for some people, but what I really would have loved is somebody explaining it to me. And I was addicted to television adverts for kids' toys. And I was born in 1976, so I really did grow up in my informative years in the Star Wars era. You know, everything was Luke Skywalker and Darth Vader. So any adverts that came out there about Star Wars, I was watching them. You know, I love that sort of thing. And I'm not the only one. So when we go to websites, and when we go to things like Facebook, predominantly it's pictures and text. Just like my mum's old case catalogue, Gray's I think it was Kay's and Littlewoods or Grattan's and what have you not. It's just, yeah, I can hear somebody going, Grattan's, I can remember that. I think it was you, Ed.
It was.
But with our websites and our Facebook, we can actually reach out in a different way, and that's through video, and it doesn't actually have to be you talking. And I know some of you do feel, oh really, do I have to listen? Do I have to put myself out on a video? Do I really want to do that? Is there a real purpose to it? Will there be more uptake? Well, yeah, they will, and I think I've just proven it. And I think I've just proven it, not just because I've talked about Star Wars and Grattan's catalogue and what happened to me when I was 8 years old, but learning styles. And a lot of you have got into, have created a toolbox for your driving instructor career, and you've popped coaching into that toolbox. And a part of coaching is understanding learning styles. And a lot of people like to hear and like to watch. And this is why I feel video is so important. And, you know, even 5 years ago, it was so hard to do video and put it up on the internet. But today it's so easy. I mean, we're using a piece of software called GoToMeeting or GoToWebinar, which costs money. But actually, you can do things on Facebook Live. So if you're on Facebook, you can just press the camera button. You know, in 3 seconds flat, you're live. There's a chap who, I'm sure most of you know him, Graham Hooper. Now, every Wednesday night, I think it's 8 o'clock, 7:30, 8 o'clock, he goes on there, 10, 15, 20 minutes. He talks about the things that you want to hear about. And he has a big following. Why? People are interested. How many other people are doing that? Hardly anybody, really. It's just Graham. But for you and your business, there's nothing stopping you from doing that. And if you are targeting learner drivers, if you are targeting fleet or whatever, that's fine. Put it on Facebook. But just be careful, and you know, certain things with what you're wearing, what you say, what's behind you, because you can have some epic fails. Now I'm just very plain, just wearing a t-shirt, and I've got my green screen behind me, so it's just been very easy to do. And I've just set my video up, and I go out and I talk, and this is what Graham Hooper does really well. And when I do that, or when I've done that, and when Graham does that, and through these webinars that you're experiencing through the NJC with Ed and Lynn here, what starts to happen, even though you are a paid member within the NJC, what starts to happen is that you build a stronger relationship. Now imagine if you haven't even bought from that provider yet. Imagine if you're a learner driver or a parent of a learner driver and you're seeing a video and they're talking about, well, we'll discuss it shortly, things like safe driving and what have you not. All of a sudden the penny starts dropping with them, because it's not about you going on screen and telling yourself, and hopefully I'm a prime example of that right now, because you can see a picture of me, I'm talking about you, I'm talking about how to help your business, you're interested in this, you've signed up, you've logged on tonight, you're interested in this. And all at the same time, you can see my advert, David Poole and Associates. I'm not telling you about my services, but you're hearing from me, and we're creating that relationship right now, and you come closer to me in terms of making a relationship with me. And this is exactly how you want to be with your prospect customers, and video is fantastic about that. It's fantastic with that. Tonight, hopefully, I've been talking about Star Wars and Grafhan's catalogue, and I've been talking about me. I've been trying to relate it to you and your experiences. And when it comes to learner driving, a lot of, I won't say a lot, I'm going to say the vast majority, 99% of driving schools get it wrong, because their message is about driving lessons. And you're more than that. If you're only selling driving lessons, expect to sell cheap. But you're much more than that, and you are undercooking yourself massively. The next step, really, the most obvious step, is about thinking about what your customers want. So what do they want? Well, they want to pass the driving test, okay? So they have a problem right now, and their problem is that they can't drive. You provide the solution. And the solution is, I'll help you pass your driving test. So you talk about them. And then what you can do, you can bite-size this down. So you can talk about the different types of learner driver that are out there. And there are 4 basic learner drivers. There are more, but I narrow this down to 4. So the first basic learner driver, beginners. Now somebody with no experience, or very, very little experience. And you could do a video about them. And you can tell them what great fun they're going to have with you, and how you're going to provide an A to Z or a start to finish product, service. Don't worry, we know that you've never driven before. There's lots of people like you out there. I'm going to take you, and I'm going to transform you into this. That's the beginner's product. And you can do a video on that. And there's the part trained product, which is the second product. And part trained is obvious. It's people that have already got some driving skills. They might have been with another driving instructor a few years ago or recently. Or they might have been learning from mum and dad or their other half. So you can do a video about that. And that video will be on the basis of, you don't need to start from the beginning because you're not a beginner. So I'm going to show you how to save time and money. Which is great. It's talking about them. The third one is confidence building. And confidence building, some driving schools do say nervous drivers welcome. But the great thing to do when on video, and you just write this on text as well, of course, but when you're on video and you're talking like this and you're talking about confidence building, that sincerity needs to come through, and you need to really relate to them, and you really need to make them feel normal. Because when you do have a little bit of nerves, you start to feel isolated. Well, actually, it's actually very normal to feel nervous, isn't it? And the reason why it's normal to feel nervous as a learner driver is because you're human. And despite us being on this earth for thousands and thousands of years, we were not designed to travel at 40, 50, 60, 70 miles an hour independently with oncoming traffic. So when you start doing a video or incorporating this into Facebook and putting it on your website, you can talk about this. And you think, look, it's perfectly normal, just the way that I've said it, and actually it's healthy. It's your central nervous system kicking in. Another thing that you can talk about is driving test rescue. So this is where they failed their driving test elsewhere. I know actually Lynn and Ed do quite a bit of this when it comes to training people to become driving instructors. And someone's failed their part 3 once or twice. So a pupil out there right now has failed their driving test once or twice with a driving instructor. They need some help. So you have a product called Driving Test Rescue. You tell them what it's about. You tell them that it isn't about, even though their repeated failure isn't about observation at junctions, which coincidentally is the number one reason for failing, as says so by the DVSA. It isn't that, because that's a detail. And you explain about safe driving and how we think, and you kick into your expertise, which is far beyond mine in terms of that realm. But you're out there and you're doing this on video, and people are listening to you going, well, yeah, actually, that's really true. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, that's me. I understand that. And they're getting to know you, and you're building that relationship. So what I want to do is I want to talk, before I talk about YouTube and Facebook, you can do videos in a couple of ways, and maybe you can do them more, but you've got these CCTVs, you've got these dash cams, and they're on 24/7. Well, when you're driving. And of course you've got things like mobile phones that can record you, or maybe you can fix it in the dashboard nice and secure, so you can secure the road ahead. So you have got different ways of recording, and there's lots of different material that you can record as well. Now, if you don't want to be on camera, if you don't want to, if you don't want to be on camera, one of the things that you can do is you can do a commentary drive. You do commentary drives all the time. So you can actually do this with a pupil next to you if you wanted to. Now, when I used to live in Derby, there was a big roundabout there. It's called Pentagon Island. So it's got 5 lanes coming off it. If I remember, one of them is a service road, which goes to an industrial estate. That's a single lane. There's some 2-laners, and there's actually a 4-laner as well. And it's a nightmare. It's a nightmare to anybody. Oh, and by the way, it's blind as well. They do have traffic lights on there, but you get people whizzing around at breakneck speed. It's blind. You can't see around the side. Call it Suicide Island, if you will. Now, it's difficult. What you could do with a CCTV camera or an outward-facing mobile phone, and I want to talk about where we position this later on, but what you can do right now is you can go out there and you can do a commentary drive, and you can say, right, I'm travelling from Derby, and what I'm going to do is we're going up the A52, and I'm going to show you how to take Nottingham Road. And it's a 45-second video. Boom. And you're not even on it. All they can do is see the cars in front, and what you're doing is you might describe what's behind you, and I know that they can't see what's going off on your feet in terms of clutch control. Don't worry about that. Talk about the things that's important for them. Now you imagine that on Facebook, and you imagine that on your website, and all of a sudden people they can relate to it. Why? Because your business is local. It's very unlikely your business is national. So if you live in Derby, your business is probably in Derby, and if you've got videos on your website and videos on Facebook about what's going on in Derby, you're personalising it straight away. There's interest, and people start sharing it. So we don't just have to do Pentagon Island in Derby. What we can do is we can do accident black spots as well, or we can do I can't get the words out. You're going to laugh at me because it's so simple. Cones, traffic. Maybe there's some roadworks. That's the word I was looking for, roadworks. I said you're going to laugh at me, it's such a simple word. But how many, you can think right now, where you live, there are some roadworks, and it is causing a problem right now. And people don't know how to approach them, even though there are signs there telling you what to do, and blah, blah, blah. You could do a video about that. Commentary drive, boom, 45 seconds, maybe 1:15, done. So easy to do. You put it on your website, put it on YouTube, and you can put it on Facebook. And it's all valuable content. And this content is starting to differentiate you. Imagine you've got 5 videos or 55 videos. The other driving schools haven't. You have. And your buyer cannot tell the difference between a good driving school and a bad driving school. Not that they're only bad driving schools, of course, but they cannot differentiate in quality. What they can do, though, is differentiate in perception, and that's what they see, what they hear, and what they think. So by you creating these little videos that are very simple to do, whammo. So right, okay, I don't have a CCTV. I've got a camera on my I've got a cam, and I've got a phone. But let's say you're doing your CCTV and you record something and you put one of those little cards. What are those cards called, Ed? From your CCTV SD card. Thank you. So yeah, so you take your Sierra Delta, yeah.
Yeah.
So you take your Sierra Delta card, your SD card, and you put that into onto your computer, and you can start to upload it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to flick over to a YouTube channel that I don't use. I've just played around with it and done a few mock videos, which I can use for a great example right now. So you should see, Lynn, can you see my YouTube channel where it kind of says Driving Lessons for All? It's a bit squished up.
I can, yeah.
Lovely. Right, okay, I'm just going to move things around on here so I can mess around and what have you not. So what you do to get into YouTube, hopefully you've all got a Google account. Ed, you got a Google account?
Yep.
Right, if you haven't got a Google account, you go to Google and you type in Gmail account, and you would click on something like this, and alright, it signs me in already, but here I can click in with a different account, and you can sign up there and then if you don't have an account already. Once you have a Gmail account, it means you have got a YouTube account, and voila. So to upload a video is really, really, really easy. Up here on the top right hand corner is a button, and it says upload. It's as simple as this. And then you'll click on here, or once you click on there, it will show you a number of files. These are actually images, they're not videos. And then you will upload your video. It's as simple as that. And depending on how long the video is, and depending on how long, how good your internet connection is, it could take a few minutes. It might even take an hour to upload if it's a longer video. Most of my videos, they're a minute, 2 minutes long, and they don't take that long whatsoever. But I did say to you at the beginning of this presentation, excuse me, I'm getting a bit thirsty. I did say to you at the beginning of this presentation, you don't even need to talk, and you don't even need to show yourself on video. Now, I'm not going to click on this video here, but what I've got, this is a friend of mine. Can you see it? This red video here?
Yeah.
Oh, it's not playing right now. Right, and he's over, Joyner is over in, sorry, Wendell's his name, Wendell Joyner. He's over in Virginia Beach. And he said, David, I want a video, but I want a video that's not me, not my face, and not me talking. What can you do? And what I did is I did a video screen grab. And there's lots of different types of software out there for video screen grab. One of the product I actually use is Camtasia. So I'll just show you this now. I'm not going to go into it. Camtasia is a couple of hundred quid. There are other things out there where you can do video screen grabs for free. This is just the one that I actually use, and there's a free trial there. But all I did is I went to his website, and for 53 seconds, I just went through the different pages of the website. That was it. Nothing more than that. So that's a real simple video that you can do. It is so easy. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to click in here. I'm not sure whether GoToMeeting will let you see this video or not. I don't think it will do. But the video is progressing. It's at 6, 7, 8 seconds at the moment. You've probably a bit of lag for you there.
Yeah.
All I'm doing, if you can see the video, Ed, is the video turning pages?
Yeah, it's turning pages.
Right. Excellent. And you might see my mouse knocking around. It might be a bit faint for you. And that is all I'm doing. It's such a simple video. Let me show you another one. This one's called Cheap Driving Lessons. This is me in my car. Now, you know I live in France, so I had to sit on the wrong side of the car.
Driving lessons, Dick.
And if you look at this video, what I've done is I've parked the car next to my hedge because I just wanted a decent bit of scenery around the back. You know, I didn't want cars or railings or anything like that. And I made this quick video. You can actually, I mean, I just did it as a test video, nothing more. You know, I've got a silly phone number there, and you can even see my child's car seat there in the back. This is the sort of thing that you can do. Let's go back here. Slightly going off subject, if any of you have got a website, you can actually use this for a bit of SEO. I'm not using it as an SEO at the moment, am I? Yeah, I am. You can, when you're in YouTube, you get to write a description. I'm just going to try and show you this description. Hopefully you should see a bit of text there. Can you see that, Ed?
Yep, yeah, we can see that. It's
I'm just
highlighted.
highlighting some. It might be a bit small for you to see, but the text I'm highlighting, this is really cool if you're doing a bit of SEO. You put your web name in here, so you know Ed, your Gem Driver Training, right? gemdrivertraining.co.uk.
Yeah.
So Ed would put that in there, and actually then you start in your description. You start to ask a few questions, and the reason why you start to ask a few questions is because more people. I tell you, this is a tangent. I'm going off on here. More people are talking on their mobile phones now rather than writing in suggestions. And people, rather than people saying driving lessons in Virginia Beach, where this was all done, they'll start to ask, like, how can I find driving lessons in Virginia Beach and where to take defensive driving Virginia Beach VA and stuff like that. So ask questions, you know, how to find driving lessons in Nottingham. Who's the best driving instructor in Mansfield? Anyway. I'm just looking at the time. I've probably got about another 10-15 minutes here.
Yeah.
So what I'm going to do is pretend now that you've made your video, you've got your video, and we're going to go over onto YouTube. No, not. Just come from YouTube. We're going to go over to Facebook. So I mentioned earlier the different types of video that you can do. You could do one on Pentagon Island in Derby, or you can maybe do one about traffic and roadworks and things like that. Or you might just want to do some basic maneuver videos. But if you're doing videos about the local roads and driver safety and things like that, get your video and go to, there's 2 places that you should be going to, at least 2 places, 3 places that you should be going to, sorry, just to put this video up. And we're not selling yourself. You're not saying, hey, come to me, I'm the best driving instructor in the world and all that palaver. No, not at all. What you would do, I'm on the Mansfield Chad page. Lynn, can you see that, Mansfield Chad?
Yeah, yeah.
This is the local paper from Mansfield. They've got 27,000 likes. The majority of these likes are people from Mansfield. So, Lynn, what's your local newspaper there over in Lichfield?
Lichfield Mercury.
You got the Mercury, right? Okay, so I'm sure the Lichfield Mercury will have their own paper. Have you got another paper your way? Is it the Star? Is that the Shropshire Star or something like that?
No idea. I'm not near Shropshire, I don't know.
Yes, you are. You offer me. You are. I'm sorry.
I'm not.
But we've got these publications, and all these publications have got an online presence. And what you do is you go to Facebook here, and this is my profile. And look at this photo, video. I can upload a video here. or what I can do is I can take my YouTube URL from the video I've just made and dump it in here and say, look, there's some there's some roadworks at Pentagon Island at the moment. This is how I recommend you approach coming from Derby, taking the third turn into Nottingham, bang, and do the video. And then put your URL in for your website. You're going to drive past there tomorrow anyway because you've got a pupil who's ready to do that. All you've got to do is make sure your video's on. And in fact, if your pupil's up for it, get them to do the commentary drive. Why not? And then what if the commentary drive is good and they're really good and they're happy about it, get them to share it on their Facebook. Hey, look at me, I'm driving, I'm doing a commentary drive for my driving instructor, Ed Marshall, look how good I am. Right. Then go and stick it on the chat or your local newspaper. It doesn't have to be just for the chat. Look, here we go, this is BBC Radio Nottingham. Which is BBC Radio Nottingham Sport with James Taylor, the cricketer. But, look at this, BBC Radio Nottingham. Loads of likes. Again, I could put it on here. It looks like somebody's been uploading photos of a school or something like that. And, you know, the Mansfield Chad, yeah, I'm from the East Midlands, and BBC Radio Nottingham have got huge followings. And people check these pages out. So they check these pages out and then they see a useful video that you recorded yesterday that didn't take you any time to do whatsoever because you were in the car. And look, actually, if I'm just scrolling down here, you can see a post. It was done 2 hours ago by Radio Nottingham. Did you see a sundog in the skies over Nottinghamshire today? And someone has done a video of a sundog. I haven't clicked on it. I don't know what it is. But if you can see down here, 526 people have seen that already. Of a sundog, that'd probably be a dog that's in the clouds or something like that. I'm not going to click on it. But that's free advertising. 526 people that have seen that in the last 2 hours. How many people are going to see it over the next 24 hours? So that's BBC. That's BBC Radio Nottingham. But what you can do is I've typed in items for sale in and around Mansfield and Sutton. So if you live in Lichfield and I think you're in Selby, Ed.
Yeah.
You can look for the one in your area. Now Mansfield, to tell you, I'm going to look at this. Talk about doing things on the who. Population of Mansfield, UK. Aha! Right. Population of Mansfield, UK. 99,000 residents that live in Mansfield. Let's look at this. Items for sale in and around Mansfield. How many members? 33,000. That's a third of your local population if you live in Mansfield. And what can you do on here? Well, if you join the group and you live in Mansfield, you can click on videos, and they've got a bunch of videos here already. I've done by other people, some of them called Disco Time. But if you go on the discussion side, click on here, you can upload a video. And that video doesn't just have to be about your driving lessons. You can do a video about your driving lessons. You can do a video about somebody who's passed their driving test today, if your pupil's up for it. And it's very simple, 30-second video. And you go, hi, my name's Ed Marshall from Gem Driver Training. And today I've got some fantastic news for you because I've got Lucy next to me. And you pan the camera over to Lucy. And while the camera's on Lucy, you say to Lucy, Lucy, what have you done today? And she says, I've just passed my driving test. And you say to Lucy, Lucy, how do you feel? She says, I feel great. And then you pan the camera back to you. And you say, if you want to be like Lucy and pass your driving test, give me a call. Boom. That's your 30-second video. Obviously, Lucy needs to be up for that. But you get your video, you load it up to YouTube. Or you can actually load it directly to Facebook. And you stick it on here. And then you've got a video about your driving school. And you know what? Let's just scroll down. Everybody else, or nearly everybody else, either does text or pictures. Text or pictures. Not that many people do videos. What you do is you do a video because it stands out. It grabs people's attention. And then what you do is, if you're doing a video with a pupil, it could be like the testimonial video with Lucy, or maybe you've done a commentary drive or what have you not. You speak to one of your pupils and you say, hey, you know what, you fancy earning yourself some money. And you tell them about your referral fee. And your referral fee is 20 quid. Always offer cash, never offer free lessons, because if their parent is paying for the lessons, they're not motivated. And of course, if they pass their driving test, why would they want another lesson? But if you offer them cash and you offer them 20 quid, and they do bring a person and a friend that comes into the school, you can say, look, do you want 20 quid or do you want a free 1 hour? It's your choice. But anyway, you've explained to Lucy that you're doing a referral scheme, and you know there's £20 in it for every person, and you can say to her, hey, do you want to come on Facebook tonight? I'm in the Mansfield group. Are you in it? If she says yes, I am. I'm uploading a video on there. Can I send you a message in the Facebook chat box to tell you when my video is uploaded? Lucy says, yeah, fine, do it. So you upload your video. It's on there with 33,000 local residents. You drop Lucy a message, hey Lucy, it's up. And all Lucy's got to do is go and find your video on that page which she's a member of, and she writes a nice positive comment. It could be, hey Ed, hi Lynn, really enjoyed my lesson today, can't wait for my driving test in a few weeks' time, thanks so much. And what that does, it starts to act as a testimonial. It also keeps you to the top of the page. 10 minutes later, you reply. Another 10 minutes later, she replies. So you might have done 3 or 4 messages over the course of the evening. She could have been in the cinema doing that. You could have been in the cinema as well. Who knows? Doing that. Very simple, very easy to do, and it's not costing you a penny. Unless, you know, somebody books in and you're happy to give the 20 notes to Jack or Lucy, whoever's been helping you. But there's another big thing on here as well. I don't even noticed, and I don't know what they're charging, but they're actually saying on here, advertise here in front of 33,000 local residents. I don't know how long that's been on for, but I tell you what, I'd be getting in touch with them and say, hey, look, can I put my driving school up here? There's just great opportunities. I could go on and on and on, but I'm just a little bit conscious about time. If any of you have got questions, please do write a question in the question box to Ed or Lynn, you know, right now. But Ed, Lynn, over to you. Can we go on a different? I mean, I don't know what you want to do here in terms of sharing our screens, but I can't see you.
You can't see us.
There we go.
Right, changing.
I can now. Now I'm moving stuff out of the way. If any of you have got any questions, please hit me. Or have you got anything to throw at me?
We've got no questions at the moment, David.
Yeah, but what about for you two?
Into silence.
Yeah.
Into silence? Why, because I talk too much.
It's all the information, David. Yeah.
I know these are loud. The thing is, if you don't do learners, I mean, both you and Edlin, you know, you do what I would call business to business in a way. You know, people wanted to start their careers or already within a career, fleet training and what have you not. This is all extremely relevant there as well, especially on that last Facebook group, because a lot of ADIs are saying to me, I want to find people who want to become PDIs and work with me. Where do I advertise? Well, you could start to actually put a string of videos together like that on how to become a driving instructor and advertise it in your local area. Very simple. 33,000 people. You could start off by saying, is there anybody interested in changing their career? And they might go, Ed, I mean, I don't know what your other half does, but let's say she wants to change career and you're not a driving instructor and you see this Ed, you might say, oh, have you seen this? And people, you then start to get tagged into it and things like that. But other driving schools are not doing this right now. And they're all saying, David, I want to find a PDI. Where do I get one from? Do a video.
Yeah.
And you can even do a video of just pictures with some text going over it. If you want to become a driving instructor, take half a dozen pictures of your car, 6 or 7 seconds on each picture, so you've got a 45-second video with some text going across the bottom of it, and you can even go to Ed. Can you just type in Fiverr.com, Fiverr, please?
Hang on. Yeah, I've got. While I do that, David, I've just got a question that's come on.
Oh, great. While you do that, I'm just going to sort myself out with some refreshment.
Yeah. What about data protection and using video? Why won't that? Just cancel that. I'm wanting rid of this screen.
When it comes to legalities like that, I always say. When it comes to legalities like that, I always say to you, go and find out the fine detail. But a lot of driving instructors are actually scared about doing CCTV. But the thing is, you're actually allowed to record anything you want. There's no issue to that.
Right.
The only thing I would say, David, is that if they're showing anybody who's just passed a test, just to not show the examiner's name and mark that out of a test certificate, because we see a lot of those up on Facebook and Twitter and things as photos, just blank out the examiner's name.
And the driving
license.
license.
That's a really good point. And there's something I'm bringing into the industry very, very soon. I'm working with somebody right now. His name's Ed, actually. It's not you, Ed. It's never Ed. And it's what I would think is a better way of not showing the test certificate. Because, yeah, there is DP there on that. And you've got to be careful there.
Yeah, David, what are you typing in here?
Foxtrot, India, Victor, Echo, Romeo.com. And hit enter, please. This is so easy. And you're looking, you pay $5, you might want to spend $10. So where it says what service are you looking for, you just type in video presentation, please. And there are actually people out there that will do videos for you, and some of them are fantastic. Some of them are, I almost swore, some of them are not so good as others. But if you scroll through here, you will find somebody that does a video that suits you. And it might just be a case of you sending 6 or 7 testimonial videos, 6 or 7 testimonial pictures up that you've got permission to show with a blanked out test pass certificate or them ripping an L plate or whatever. And you send those pictures along to somebody on here that makes videos, and for $5, 2 days later, you've got a video. And you're not on it. And it's cost you £4, current conversion rate. What's that? And somebody else is doing it for you. And for all the listeners, all the watchers that are looking at this right now, you've all got pictures of either your car or people that passed their driving test. So what's stopping you jumping onto Fiverr.com, create an account, sending a few pictures and asking somebody to turn that into a video? Mm. You can make logos on this site as well. Can you just get rid of the word presentation and change the word presentation to intro, video intro, please? And hit enter, and let's see on here. Yeah, just get rid of that. These are lots of different types of introduction videos. So what you can do is you can start to brand your own videos with your own intro. So you get your logo, because these people, you can get logos from here. You get a logo, you get it into your introduction video, and then you get your testimonials afterwards, and then you've got a 30-second video with an introduction. And you can even use that intro as an outro if you want to, so it looks really professional. So you're on those Facebook buy and sell pages saying, hey, I've got a new vacancy, somebody's passed their driving test today, and bang, they see the intro of your logo, and then it clicks into 6 testimonial videos, and then bang, they've got the outro. It doesn't look like it's been knocked up in somebody's back bedroom. All of a sudden you've got professional video, and you've paid $10. I mean, there is a lady on here who I use. Afterfiverr.com, you know, in the URL, Ed?
Yeah.
Afterfiverr.com/, can you type in videos for all? And I think the 4 is the number 4. There should be a lady called Stephanie. She's English and she's really, really good.
Videos for all?
Yeah, with the number 4. I'm sure it's that. If it's not, I'll get the URL. It's not coming up.
No.
Can you type in the what service English presenter, please? See if we can find it right now, where it says what service you're looking for. I'm not sure where she's from in the UK, but I've had a number of videos done from her, and I typically pay about $20 because I have a slightly longer video. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Can we go live? Can you give presenter rights back to me? Because I'll find her on mine very quickly. Because this is really, really worth doing. It's a shame I don't get commission from her.
Change presenter. There you go. Should be back over to you.
Right, okay. I got, I told you it was a number. It's not actually a number. Sorry. Can you see that there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, this is Stephanie, and you might even see a few of my videos in here. She starts at €4.73. Obviously, I'm in Euroland. Grab her. Even if you want the video where you're not on it, and you can give your logo to her or whatever. I mean, if you want to put your logo on there, and you want to get your video sent to you in the next 48 hours, and maybe you want your video 40 seconds long, it might cost you as much as $40. So what? Her videos are top notch. Let's see if I can play one live. Let's see if this works. Come on, Stephanie.
Hi everybody, my name's Stephanie and I'm a professional actress and presenter based here in the UK. And from just $5, I can be your British or American website spokesperson. Yep, that's right, I do an American accent as well. Pricing details and all the optional extras can be found.
There you go, I'm just going to pause it there. Did you see that video? Did it work?
Yes. Yeah, it did.
I mean, for the sake of just a few quid, if you don't want to do a video yourself, wow, I mean, you can just go on there, you can give her the script, she'll do the script, bang, she'll send it over to you, and you can stick it straight onto Facebook. And that's a real professional video, and she, she's a professional actress, she's great. You can send your logo to her, on what have you not, you can put your URL in there for your website, bam, gone, done. And we should be doing this, and especially in the, and we're in an education business anyway, and you do offer a one-to-one service. What one pupil might think is look at a website and go, I don't really know about them, so they click on another website or go onto another Facebook page, and then they see a video, and it becomes interactive to them. And we're talking about people here, especially the 17 to 20-year-old market, it's all they've ever known.
Yeah.
They're not old fogies like me, looking in Kays and Grattan's catalogue for watches at Christmas, or Star Wars figures or what have you not, video, and they're used to it, and it's what they expect. And it also meets learning styles as well, which you two are well aware of, far more than me.
Yeah.
So I don't think people really have got an excuse. You can use your dash cam, you can use your CCTV, or you can use somebody like Stephanie.
It's actually video is something that we're using now in presentations more as well, because it gets the interaction and it hits those styles. It gets people involved.
Yeah. You know, if you plan it really well as well, if you're doing an education video. I was talking to Paul Bessel the other day. You remember Paul? He went to the conference, mine and yours, and he does the videos. And we were talking about video angles and things like that, and how he changes angles to get a message over, just by keeping people's attention, which is really good. It's a good, you know, if you're really serious about videos and you like the techie side of things, and you don't mind making videos yourself, and you know, Paul Bessel is a good guy to track down and get hold of. Anything else?
No
Any
more
other
questions.
then?
No, we've no more questions. Hopefully that answered your question, Adam. So that was a good question about the data protection, but like David says, data protection is quite a funny one. It's been at the forefront of quite a few forums just lately as data protection. The best thing to do is get in touch with them and speak to them. I've spoken to them before, and even them, when you're talking to the data protection guys, they're not sure whether you should have it or not. So for 35 quid, I've just enrolled myself into it. It's a safe bet. Yeah, and that's continually then comes out of the bank every year, and I think I've had that now for 3 years now, because it's very grey area with what we do. So
yeah, that's one of the reasons why I can't give a specific answer. I mean, it depends what you're recording and you know the platform you're putting it on and things like that. I also think I'm not going to go and say sod it, go ahead and do it, because that would be the wrong thing to do. But I do feel that there's a lot of driving instructors who do put hurdles up in front of themselves.
Yeah.
And actually slow down the progress of their business.
I think the thing is that if we're taking any sort of data from somebody, that I think it comes down to that you should really have it, and the safest option is to have it rather than not have it and just store and deal with it safely. I think that's
absolutely.
Yeah.
But if you're okay with going on cam, and you've got a pupil next to you who's okay going on camera, she doesn't have to show, or he doesn't have to show their test pass certificate. No. So that's done. And you know, I'm not telling you to go out there and make false testimonials. I would never do that. What you can do though is you'll have pupils in your car right now who haven't passed their driving test, so they don't have to say I've just passed my driving test. They can just say what a fantastic experience they've got.
Yeah.
And then, you know, you're going to experience that every day, where the pennies just drop with them, and they've had one of those. I think Oprah Winfrey says those moments or whatever it is, and you get that every day. So, and if they're good for that sort of thing, ask them. So, what did you do today? I went on a dual carriageway for the first time. How fast did you travel? Did 70. You did 70 in a dual carriageway. Why did you do that? Because I overtook somebody. How did you feel? Brilliant.
It's getting that emotion, the raw emotion, isn't it? Adam's just come back with, actually, he's said that he's working as a college lecturer, and they've started shooting videos of lessons, and it works really well. When I've done the ski instruction, we've used videos for feedback, and it's often worked quite well there. When you video your students, you think the students themselves think they're doing really well until they see it on a video and they go, oh my goodness, I could get my angles better here and I could do this differently. Video is just a fantastic thing, and it's good for people to actually see. It's very visual, isn't it? And we work in vision. One of the things you were saying about with us knowing our things, the visual aspect of how the brain works is really important for learning.
I just want to pick up on what Adam has said. Adam, first of all, thank you very much for your contribution tonight. I appreciate it, and you just triggered something with me. I believe that driving schools should be charging more money, and because I believe you're worth it. We're not going to go down that line tonight. And a very easy way of being able to charge more money is following what the ADI and NJC do by offering a tiered service, premium service. And that's why you're here tonight. And as driving schools, we can do that as well. So let's say you charge, just for the sake of a figure, £25 an hour. You could actually offer an upsell in the car, once they're in the car with you, to say, look, do you want to go to £27 an hour? Why? What's £27 an hour? Well, £27 an hour is where I put you into my secret Facebook group with other pupils, and there will be video clips in there of my training sessions. It might even be a video clip of you if you approve of that. So all of a sudden you've differentiated, you've created another product that other people are not doing, and it's so easy for you to do. So what do you want to do? Do you want to take the £25 standard, or do you want to take the £27 VIP club, where I've got snippets of driving lessons? I'll even record you with your permission and put you in on there, and it can create a discussion point. And all of a sudden you've got 20, 30, 40, 50, let's say you're doing this for 2-3 years, you might have a group of 60, 70 pupils in there, but you just operate by yourself. No problem. They've got all that as a fantastic resource.
Yeah, that's a really good idea.
Thanks, Adam.
Yeah.
Thanks,
All right.
David. Full of ideas as always, and it's great to have you on the webinar tonight. Thank you very much. Are there any more questions there?
Isn't it?
No more questions. Oh, hang on. Priority
Need to tell
booking system, yeah. The next, I'm just going to take the presenter back, and then we can see the slide that I had up.
Yeah, what we're doing next.
Yeah. The next one, quite a topical one. What's my videos doing there? Just go to that slide, make that there. Okay, so there. The next webinar, Tuesday the 28th of March, AD8 Part 3 changes. Quite a topical one that we're doing there. So this will go out back to everybody. Emails will be going out and whatever. So Tuesday there'll be, hopefully Lynn, you're going to join us on that one if you get back from the meeting.
Hoping to. Yeah.
And we'll have Nick Ibbott with us hopefully as well, who's very passionate about this.
Isn't it?
Yeah. So thank you, David. Thanks for spending your time with us this evening. Putting your valuable experience there to everybody.
And if anybody wants to, you're welcome, Lynn. If any of your Platinum members want to hook up with me and ask me a few more questions, then drop me a line.
Right.
Thanks very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
So we'll see everybody on the next one. Thanks. That's the end of tonight. Bye-bye.